The Tesla dudes are practically giving the Model Y away with 6 months free supercharging, discounts as high as $4,000, and a $7,500 tax credit. Seriously though, feels like Oprah giving gifts on Christmas. Now, my question is, are they doing this to pump up their Q4 numbers, to maybe gather new investors, or is it really just a sign of times? Nevertheless, let's talk about what you get for the money. In this video, we'll discuss the 3 things Tesla got right with the Model Y, and we're gonna finish it off with a walk around, inside and the outside, of course. So the first thing Tesla got right with the Model Y is sharing the platform with the Model 3. Now, what does that mean, right? That essentially means you have all the convenience and all the space of driving an SUV without the hassle of driving one, right? You get the space, you get, you're up higher on the road, you can see over other cars, you can predict accidents before they even happen, but you also have the ability to park easily, right? You can maneuver around cars, you can get through shopping centers quickly. We all know going through shopping centers in a huge Suburban or a huge whatever car you have, it's such a hassle. I know some of those streets, man, they get really full of traffic when you're picking up your kids. And this car offers all that convenience and more. Because again, it drives like the Model 3, but it feels like the Model X. So I think that's one of the first things and really the main thing Tesla got right with the Model Y. Now, the second thing Tesla got right with the Model Y is the fact that it shares a lot of its parts with the Model 3. Now, that may not seem like a benefit, but if anything breaks or fail malfunctions, like this piece, or any other pieces in the car, the fact that it shares up to 75% of these parts with the Model 3 is, I think, a genius idea, because there's going to be an abundance of these parts, right? It's going to be reduced repair times, but there's also going to be reduced cost, right? Instead of like the Model X, which is like one of that model, you're going to have to wait longer. In most cases, you might actually have to pay more. So I think this is genius, the fact that Tesla decided to share 75%, or really up to 75% of the parts with the Model 3. Now, the third thing is going to be a bit of a trip, but it's actually the factory stock height. Now, I'll show you what I mean. The normal stance gives it the illusion that it's lowered, but it still gives you the convenience of driving over, your driveway or average city driving. And I feel that's because these wide wheel arches give it the illusion that you could fit more rim in there. And in fact, you actually could fit more rim in there. But because of the factory height, it gives it the illusion that it's lowered. But as you can tell, it gives you all the convenience to be able to drive over anything. Maybe I could probably drive over that curve, maybe in another video. But nevertheless, it gives it the illusion that it's lowered while still giving you all the clearance you need for city driving, which I think is a plus. All right, guys, if you guys are enjoying this video so far, make sure to comment, like, subscribe. You know that whole deal. I'm not going to force you into it. I feel like we've probably become friends now, so pretty sure you're more than encouraged to do so. I also want to mention that if you guys are interested in wraps, then I've wrapped a whole bunch of these, and I actually wrapped this one. This one was a gorgeous blue, and now it's a gorgeous gray. You can follow me there on GSG Wraps. Again, GSG Wraps is where you can find me. Link is going to be down in the description below. But let's get really to the walk around of this car. I really am impressed with the way that the Model Y looks like. In fact, it's actually my mom's favorite model too. She speaks Spanish. She doesn't really know any of the models. She's like, ese, me gusta ese. So this is the one that she likes the most. But to continue on, I just really like how simple it is, man. Simplicity is really where it's at, especially when a lot of car makers are making it more complicated, making it more sporty, making it more this. I mean, just take the TRD Camry, for example, or a lot of the stock cars, the ES350. That used to be a grandma's car. Now it looks like it's made for the track, right? So I really like the fact that Tesla is keeping it simple. I'm not sure if they're ever going to make a redesign. That's actually a good question, huh? What do you guys think? Do you guys think Tesla is ever going to come out with a redesign, or you think this is going to be basically how Tesla's going to look for the rest of their lives? Man, I never thought about that one. I got to give myself credit. That's a good question. Nevertheless, I actually like this one. This is actually my most favorite stance, the most favorite angle of the car. Not sure why. It just seems really aggressive, really bold, really represents Tesla the way it should. But you have all these lines, man. Like, this is, I can only imagine the drag coefficient on this car is probably impeccable. How about the interior, right? Everything you need and nothing you don't. Really nice deep pocket right here. Really simple, come on. To push a button to open a door, come on, that's really all you need. And to go off inside here as well, a really nice, super clean design. Once again, everything you need and nothing you don't. Also notice this seat has a base to it, right? So you're more elevated up into the seat as well. So if you're short like me, I mean, I'm 5'10", but in today's, in today's dating world, 5'10" is really short. Nice teak wood texture here. Again, I'm not sure if that's real, but it doesn't really matter because it looks super nice. You also have the vents nice and concealed here. Like you see, I just love the fact that even if you sit in here, right, buttons are all simple, unobstructed view of the front, and then you have your MPG that comes off on top right here. So I just think, once again, the simplicity of this car is really where the Tesla shines. And also, I just noticed my phone is upside down. Bam! Talk about that blue color we mentioned. More than enough space for the kids to get comfortable. You also have a vent in the back, door pocket, this massive door pocket on this side here, speaker right here, and then you got that beautiful, gorgeous panoramic view of the top. Gorgeous. As I'm walking around this car, I'm starting to think that the Tesla Model Y is probably their best model. But what do you guys think? Do you guys prefer the S, 3, X, or the Y? Notice how I spelt it as sexy. So my first concern when I noticed that this shared the same platform as the Model 3 was if it was going to be top heavy. Obviously if you have a taller car with a shorter wheelbase, that oftentimes would lead to really bad body roll, essentially lead to bad handling, right? Not essentially so, and the reason why is because all the batteries are on the floor of the car, which gives it a nice planted feel. You could take a turn and it feels like it's on tracks, which I think is really the important thing. And that's basically what you get with all hybrids or all electrics, because again, the battery is so heavy, but because they bolt it onto the ground of the car, it gives it that nice smooth ride that you would expect, right? Nobody wants to drive a car and start getting all wobbly. You know what I mean? That's the last thing you'd want to see.